Hi, Colister here with another Namco arcade log play. In this video, I will do Dragon Spirits, one of Namco's best in my opinion. Dragon Spirit is a shooter game released in 1987 about a warrior prince, I think he's a prince at least, named Amur, that transforms himself into a legendary dragon and attempt to save Princess Alicia from the demon Zawel. Dragon Spirit is definitely one of the better games by Namco Arcade for replay value. However, it's also a game that's fun if you give it a chance and take the patience to get good at it like I did. It's also a game that punishes you for being too greedy about power-ups. I'm playing the new version of the game, of course. Epic intro cutscene. Much like with Xevious, you have an air attack and a ground attack in this game. There are also these eggs that increase your dragon heads and firepower. And do I need to go on about how much I love this game's music? Dragon Spirit has some of the best music you'll hear in any 80s arcade game. Flashing enemies also give you various power-ups. The Heart Jewel that I just got, you get an extra life if you collect 3 of those. You also need to collect 3 red jewels in order to increase your firepower. Watch out for these enemies' feathers. That navy blue core-like power-up gives you a temporary scatter fire, which I'm not bothered about at all. I'm playing the game on medium, by the way. The difficulty setting specifically affects the speed of enemy bullets in this game, and that's all. On easy, most enemy shots move slow. Medium, most of them move at an average speed. And on hard, all enemy bullets move fast. That power-up is a Giga Fire, which I'm not going to use at all. Alright, I upgraded my firepower. As you saw, I got 3 red jewels in total. I am auto-firing just so I can get through the video as quickly as possible. You know, recording limitations. The Plesiosaurus boss in the first stage is pretty easy. You just have to be careful of its periodic fire blasts, as you saw in the demo. There are 9 stages in the game in total. Those pearl items just give you bonus points. I'm not gonna do a triple-headed dragon, because in technical play, a double-headed dragon is better. The first reason is because a triple-headed dragon has a wider body, making it more susceptible to enemy attacks. The second reason is because a triple-headed dragon is more limited for auto-firing. And the third reason, well, I'm not sure, an earthquake, that's a highly useful power-up. And the third reason, I'm not sure if this is actually the case or not, it might increase the chance of enemies spawning black jewel power-ups, which actually decrease your head and firepower by 1 stage if you pick those up. If you're wondering why people that play this game on YouTube go for a double head instead of a triple head, that's why. Those 3 reasons. Shield. Amazing power up to have. This boss is also easy. All you gotta do is memorize. I am also not getting 3rd degree Dragon Fire for similar reasons. While having maximum Dragon Fire can be devastating to enemies, it can actually hinder you in the 5th and 9th stages. Because if the bats in stage 5 or the chasing axes in stage 9 are too close to you, you can't shoot them down with 3rd degree Dragon Fire. Whereas if you keep 2nd degree fire, you can, if they get that close. You'll see what I'm talking about later on. You can destroy the rope wood if you shoot them enough, though without auto-firing, doing so is almost impossible. Pretty fun boss. If I was playing the old version of the game, it would be a lot more difficult to dodge the attacks from those enemies that are shooting the quills behind them. There is a clear difference in this game between the old version and the new version. In the old version, the dragon moves a lot slower directionally, and that does make the game harder. In the new version, the directional movement of the dragon is a lot faster, which makes it easier to dodge attacks. And it also gives you the ability to select what specific stage out of the 9 you want to start the game on, with some easy options mixed in. There's also a little bit of an intro in the old version that was cut out in the new version. Some Namco arcade games on Arcade Archives have a new version and an old version. The old version is usually a harder version, or a version that has some kind of bug. Wait for the Death Guardian to back up a bit before shooting it to expose the core, because the bones spreading out from the body can damage you. This stage is hard. Touching the spiky walls will kill you, and the enemies here can ambush you if you're not careful. These bats, if they get too close to you and you have 3rd degree fire, you're gonna take a hit. If you stick with 1st or 2nd degree fire, you can protect yourself from them as they approach you. The spiders on this stage can also be a problem, as they can shoot you even if you get ahead of them. And if you shoot the spider out, it shoots what some people call a suicide bullet. And if you're not quick to shoot the web away, the spider will regenerate. An earthquake could sure be useful right now. I'm very arachnophobic, you should know. As if spiders already weren't hard enough to look at. Again, touching the spiky walls will kill you. And there are enemies on the ground and spears that come out of the wall that can corner you if you're not careful. All you have to do to survive this stage is to memorize. I struggled on this stage in my earlier playthroughs of this game. I mean, long before I started my channel. There are also frozen power-ups in the breakable walls. If the boss in the first stage was a Lapras, this one must be a Gyarados. This boss chases after you and shoots a column of fire at you as soon as you get directly in front of it. Simply weave from side to side to take him down. One final note about bosses. If you stay in the boss fight for too long, shooting stars will come after you. As kind of like a spurt warning. If you're as good at the game as I am, though, you're probably not even going to see that for yourself. That gold power-up is simply bonus points, more than the pearl-like power-ups give. This anglerfish boss is arguably the hardest boss in the game. Besides the escorts and the scatter shot that it has, it only takes damage while its mouth is open. Yet, even it gets a lot easier the more I play this game. Why did they have to include a stage of pure darkness? This stage has yellow eggs, which give you a power-up that helps you see temporarily. Try to go for them. Boy, would a shield be useful right here, right now. There is one good point about Stage 8 in this game, though. It's over with quickly, and its boss is also easy. And with that, we move on to the Sorcerer's Temple, the final stage. This stage is very difficult if you're not familiar with the game. I mean, obviously, because it's the last stage in the game. If you know about technical play in this game, though, you can make it a lot easier and funner. The warriors here throw axes that chase after you, and if you have 3rd level dragon fire going up against them, you can't shoot them down if they get too close to you. Like I talked about earlier. You can hold down the downward directional control to fly over the walls in this stage, making the game a lot easier here. It specifically tells you that you can do that in Namco Museum Volume 5, so why not? You also need to watch out for the spears. You see that black power-up? Those decrease your head and fire level by 1 if you pick those up. Try to avoid them. You see them a lot more in this stage, need I mention. The red power-ups with an S in them make your dragon small, which can be useful for dodging. Though it limits you to only 1 head. Alright, this is by far the hardest part of the game. It's also the final checkpoint in the game if you lose a stock, so keep that in mind as well. There are these axe-throwing warriors, and a lot of bats with power-ups, many of which give you a black power-up, which is actually a power-down. And having to dodge the columns that shoot those 3 ways is also hard. It'd be a lot harder if you had a 3-headed dragon. Shield. That white power-up with the W gives you a scatter shot where you can shoot 3 projectiles with 1 head or 4 with a double head at once. And I think I've seen every power-up in this playthrough at least once. You have to fight this serpent triplet boss. It has an attack just like the plesiosaurus from the first stage, except you have to fight 3 of them. Watch for their mouths to open and weave as you shoot them. Now, we fight the game's main antagonist, Zawell. He blocks your fire with his staff and shoots these crescents that have a slight chasing. Wow, this boss is really not that hard. He can't corner you if you're not careful. And then, Blue Dragon turns back into a Myrrh, and Princess Alicia is saved. You're then given an epilogue and credits, with one of the most beautiful pieces of music I've ever heard in any video game I've played. Alright, so that was Dragon Spirits. I did 10 other arcade games by Namco before this point on my Namco Arcade playlist, and I also did another long play about another iconic video game about a dragon, if you want to check that out for yourself. Subscribe if you want, stay tuned for more, and I'll be sure to bring plenty more Namco Arcade content. I am Crolister, the Master of Ponage, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!